No, Amy's still the host. She's got to assign it to one of us. Or she's got record. I can see it.
Okay.
Brian?
And Santos here. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Brian.
Hi.
All right, Brian, you can call to order whenever. We're recording and we have more than a quorum.
Oh, we are recording?
Yep, I can see the icon.
Oh, okay. So it's, what is it, 6:35 still. We're coming to order.
All right, I got audio.
Hi. Let's see what we can get through. First up is the approval of the April 15th minutes.
I'll make a motion. It's Joanne.
There's only one thing that I saw on there, and it was just a spelling thing. I don't know if we should bother with it, but
I missed it.
yeah, well, between you and me, we get them. Yeah, it's on the third
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
C. Obert says Trails Committee is still on target for Trails Day. C. Obert suggests possibly contacting Webster Bank. Oh, no, I missed a line. Remove the trees and weeds that grew up where the buildings were. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines down. It says where the buildings were, but it should be where the buildings were.
They grew up where the building, yeah, I see it. Okay.
You see
So
that?
Joanne, would you like to amend your motion?
Yes, I will. I would like to amend it to correctly put the word where in on the third page under number 3.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No. I mean, none. Let's go.
Roll.
I have a headache today, so I'm going to be a little scrambled. Reports. Joe, you got the, did you see
Yes.
the,
Thank you. Yes, I did receive the report today, from you yesterday, actually.
yeah, and that was
um,
the, notice that one, I had one from July to February and one from July to March. Don't have one from July to April.
I'm using the July through March one.
Yes, that was the latest one that I got.
Yeah. So we still have available funds of $17,407.93.
17,407.93.
Yeah, I looked over the list I had from when Brian and I were doing the budget workshops early in the year of the stuff that we had assigned to 20. A lot of that is just stuff that we haven't been billed for yet, like the Yukon, that $1,000 hasn't gone out the door yet. The remainder of some of the grant funds haven't gone out the door yet, mostly the TLGV. It's all going to be expended before the end of the fiscal year on time.
Right.
Okay. Update on businesses. Did you get the sheet that I sent for the adoption of trade name?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh,
Go ahead.
The first business that was on the list has a Putnam address.
Yeah, and the mailing address is Salem. I was going to ask if somebody knows why that is a.
I questioned it too.
I mean, I just don't know.
Okay.
Amy or Tira know how.
I don't know. I didn't really look at them that closely, Brian. I just scanned them over to you.
Well, it's Getty
Just
Brewing
noted that there were
Company,
some.
Kennedy Drive, Putnam, and their mailing address is in Salem. Nothing having to do with Thompson. I was just wondering, how we're missing something.
Yeah, well, kind of
Yeah, it's
businesses?
probably a better question for Renee or Cindy. My guess would be is that they own a property in Thompson, but have their address in Putnam, but that's just a guess.
Yeah, like I said, the mailing address is Salem.
Yeah, weird.
Business addresses on Kennedy Drive, and that's a very commercial spot in Putnam, so I couldn't
Right.
figure it out.
No, I'm sure there's a reason. I just
Don't
wondering.
know.
And yeah, I can
Yeah,
always,
my best guess is that it's a satellite location for an existing business, but that is just a guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's a good.
and yeah, the other ones are, yeah, all of these, you notice the latest one was, actually, there was one in May. 3 of them were before all of the shutdown stuff. But I have no businesses that went under that got listed anyway. So far.
Oh, that's good.
Anybody have anything else for new businesses or update on businesses?
Nope.
Okay.
I got a little bit of an update. The work over at the Mason House is just progressing at a pace that's unbelievable if you happen to see it every day. It's just,
It
Yeah,
really
they
is.
mean business over there.
Yeah, they are being super aggressive about it for sure, which is great. You still thinking about opening fall of this year?
Wow.
Wow.
Whew. Awesome.
Well, that's what happens when you have a full team of contractors there on a daily basis. Things get done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the pockets to pay them as they go. I mean, I think that's more of it.
Absolutely. I mean, and I'm sure the contractors are delighted to have the work right now, since they could all be there and still oblige by the rules of 6 feet apart. There's a contractor in every room, probably.
personal observation, they haven't been observing that nearly as much, but the number of contractors there is about 1/3 of what it was when the project got underway in earnest. So they're finishing things up and moving out.
Well, that's good. Okay, so we have no citizens, so we won't have citizens' comments. Old business, I left on the agenda the progress for an EDC alternate. I haven't talked to anyone, I don't see people face to face. I don't know about anyone else.
Yeah, and I haven't reached out to my person. I just haven't had time to do it. So I haven't done anything with it.
Yeah,
Well, it's an
you
odd
know.
time to bring someone on
Yeah.
while we're meeting remotely, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just leaving it on the agenda so it doesn't drop. There's no pressure. Because we,
Yeah.
Brian is an alternate, Brian LaFredo. Do we have anything on the Thompson brochure, Tiara?
Nothing super definite. So the ERTD, which is the Regional Tourism District, where I'm an executive committee member, just finally signed a contract for their marketing partner. And I've made this statement in these meetings a few times. Like, we are here. We've made our commitment to funding it. Now they have to essentially pony up and do the same, because at this point it's been vague. Now they also have the same fiscal year as we do, and I've told them they need to commit to us sufficiently by the end of this fiscal year so that we can commit those funds to them. And that is where it stands right now. I expect I'll have a marketing committee meeting within the next couple of weeks, and then there is the annual meeting in June. If it's not resolved by June, we'll have to move on to a different project. I have done everything I can to line those pins up. It certainly would have been easier in in-person meetings than it is over the phone. Mainly because when we have that little physical fold-down card thing, that's the thing that excites people. They haven't seen it in person. They've only seen the stuff on the website, which is not the same, right? It's just not the same as like having it in your hand and folding it and unfolding it and seeing how it fits in your wallet and all that stuff. The people from the airline trail have seen it. they're super jazzed by it, but everybody's in this same weird limbo. So lining those pins up is harder than it should be. But, you know, like I said, ERT and we have the same fiscal year end. If they haven't articulated the matching program for the municipalities, and they haven't, you know, provided me with a written commitment that they will partner with the towns, like even if they don't start it until 21, which obviously at this point they're not going to, we can commit the funds by encumbering it to ERTD in that way. But we need a firm commitment, a firmer commitment than I've gotten. So that's where we stand with it.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
How much
Yes.
of the work that would go into this whole regional thing would be done if we were only doing it just for the town? In other words, is there a body of work that could be done that we could move forward independently if they don't get their act together and commit?
Theoretically, we could begin a design process of our own. However, I can tell you that as soon as it becomes involved with Connecticut, Office of Tourism, and multiple institutional partners, by which I mean the airline trail and ERTD and us and the other towns, it could be problematic. So I wouldn't start putting design work in. And remember, we've only encumbered $4.5 grand for this. So that sounds like a lot of money for us, but $4.5 grand probably would get us the design and would not get us the fulfillment. So the way to leverage the funds at this point is to have the partnership. And we're not going to get a bump in funds in fiscal 21. They've already taken extra money away from us. So, the best way to maximize this, if we're going to move forward with this project in 21, is to get this matching grant program from or to call it a matching grant, not the best language, this match program articulated by ERTD, accepted by us and the couple of other municipalities that have shown the strong interest to get the other municipalities on board, and the airline trail folks. And I do think that's all possible, but it is a finite timeline.
Okay. Well, we'll keep it on the agenda. Well, we have another month.
Yeah, a month and a half, yeah. Well, yeah, not quite a month and a half.
For new business, I have the impact of the budget cuts that we talked about. Did we get cut again?
Yeah, they took another 5 away.
Okay, because I didn't see anything definite, but I heard we got cut.
Well, they haven't voted on the final yet, but color me surprised if they give any money back to any of the departments. I mean, we offered our 20% cut, we took away the 5, and then it was a pretty emotional set of meetings, but just the priority is not there with this Board of Finance in investing in the community. They have a very different perspective. So right now we are going to have a pool of 15,000 to spread across those projects. I've given some thought to how I think we should prioritize those. Of course, we added a wrinkle for ourselves by deciding before they made that cut to try to move forward with the marketing RFP, for a marketing consultant to do some of that ancillary work that's outside our skill set. It's going to be quite a juggling act. So what I would propose is to essentially keep the potential money for 65 where it is, because I think I can actually start with that next year. I think I can get some of that work done. So right now that's 8,000 in EDC funds, plus I have the 1,000 that Bank Hometown did pony up last November, so call that 9. I would stick with the 4 that we have remaining to put towards the train wreck park, again, because I think I can leverage that into a Connecticut Humanities grant to start producing some of those permanent markers with the QR code, you know, for the train wreck site. I think I've got a good shot of getting some Connecticut Humanities money for that, but that's a 1-to-1 match. So we might get maybe 3, maybe even 4 of those markers on site, you know, permanent ones, not temporary ones, if we play it right, possibly. But that's also an ongoing project that I think will be less affected. So the project that I think that gets most affected is the pop-up shops, because we can't have, because the social distancing problem presents other complications for that project. So I would take that 5 out of that piece, encumber the 5 to Dave Eddy to build the next one, but I don't realistically see us getting that pop-up village open in a meaningful way until next summer, which isn't a disaster, right? Or maybe not even next summer, maybe, you know, late spring. It's not a disaster, but then we can shift our focus to concentrate on fully activating that in summer of 21. I think that's the best way you're going to use that money. Plus, we've got the reimbursements coming in. I mean, we got the one that we got today from ECAR, and I talked to Orl about that, and I made it very clear that money is not to go back to the general fund. That money is to go to EDC. You guys fronted it, and you guys should have access to it. But I need to see how that's all going to look in the end. So when we get some of that reimbursement money, that's the money I think you can put towards the marketing RFP. Or if we don't move forward with the fold-out brochure, if that goes bust, that's another pool that if we get the RFP out there and choose a vendor, then we can encumber it right away. So there's strategies there that can still make it all work. Nothing is going to be as fully realized as we'd like, but you know, we have a shrinking pool of options.
I was thinking the same thing about the pop-up, because the way things are going, it's not going to happen, like you said, not right away.
Yeah, I mean, even as late as early April, I think we still had some hope that we could get 2 or 3 of them on the ground in July of this year or August of this year. But I just don't see that as being realistic. Even if the rules are sufficiently relaxed that people can go out and do things, I don't see it as being a thing that people will actually want to do yet. So I think it's a safer bet to just get one more made and then bank on that for being our main project next year.
Yeah, if we have a couple made, at least we can start promoting and say, this is
Yeah.
what it's going to look like.
Yeah, and then we can talk about in like January, February of 21, how we're going to solicit interest in those. Because we haven't had enough of a physical product to present to people to say, hey, you know, even if we only have 2 or 3 of the sheds, we can get 2 or 3 committed vendors for those, and then talk about like ancillary support, like, you know, tent shows around the rest of it, so that it's activating the space until we can fill it with the sheds.
Yeah. All right.
So does anybody have any strong objections to that, to some form of that strategy?
I think it sounds fine, Tara.
Thanks, Brian.
I don't have any objections, but one of the last statements you made about surrounding it with tents made me wonder, okay, so we can't move forward with pop-up buildings, but we might be able to undertake something with kind of a rough draft of concept, even in autumn of this year, depending on the conditions with this virus, but using tents as a proof of concept. And
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea, Charlie. It won't be something that we would expend those funds on.
Yeah,
Well,
I can appreciate
we can
that, but-
theoretically, yeah, we can theoretically do a craft show, an antique show, a farmer's market at any time if we organize it. But that's
Yeah.
not talking about the expenditure of the budget, which is what the agenda item was.
Okay.
All right, any more comments on that? Okay, now we're up to the RFP for marketing consultant. We talked about it, branding.
I can try to share the screen on that. Let me pull up the attachment. It's going to take a minute here. Loading very slowly on my desktop.
Has anyone
Has
else,
everybody, go ahead, Joe.
anybody else that's new to the meeting, that's a participant?
Where'd it go?
Well, I see a phone number there. I don't know who that is. The 617?
Brian Lafredo came in. He apologized because he had been sleeping.
Oh, so Brian's on. Okay.
All right, I'm going to try to share my screen.
But that's not
Can you
my,
guys see that?
oh,
There it is.
Yep.
All right.
It works.
So, excellent. So it's a 2 or 3 pager. Has everybody seen this before? Is there anybody who hasn't seen it?
That came in from Renee.
Right.
Nope.
We initially talked about it 2 weeks ago at branding. So anybody who was at the branding meeting has seen it, but I didn't know if anybody had seen it since.
Yeah, I do have it. I have it printed out here too. I should have
Okay.
forwarded it along.
All right. Well, like I say, it's a 2 or 3 page. So what? To give everybody a little background, Jen Bertowski has been doing some work with Renee and me, partly on the suffragette program. She did some commemorative programs for us as part of her work with Chase Graphics. She is also a freelance marketing consultant. She's a startup, and she had expressed some interest in, doing some consulting on doing the brand building that we've talked about since we had the branding study and all that, So we've come up with the slogan and some of the ideas, but we haven't necessarily activated that slogan fully. And partly it's because although we know some of the strategies, it's still nobody's area of expertise, right? So, this would be bringing someone on as a consultant. She was the original idea, but she had presented a proposal that some of us saw and discussed, which I don't think rang anybody's bells. It wasn't terrible, but it was just okay. It was just okay. It was very, I think Lafredo put it best, very marketing 101. So I had suggested at that time we just write a simple RFP for a bid not to exceed, because we know our funds are going to be super, super limited, and essentially at most $5,000, right? So this is the RFP that I wrote up, which if everybody on branding approved it, if everybody here likes it, I can have it posted and we can see what comes back from it. So objectives: to build general awareness of the town of Taunton via strategic marketing using digital, print, and other means. Build specific awareness of the green and growing community brand. Develop a logo, which we've never done, and that's outside our personal expertise. I think that's fair to say. And specifically to use some of the information that came out of that NECOG branding study, which otherwise, what did we pay for all that for? And scope of work: evaluate existing marketing, develop a complete brand package, provide citizen engagement opportunities, consult with this committee and this commission and the branding committee, and give us another strategic document, something a little more targeted. And the rest of it is pretty basic. Just describe scope of work and need for references and qualifications. this timeline we'll have to amend. I think when I had written this up, I had thought we were going to post it after the branding meeting, but it was preferred to wait to present to this commission as well. So I'll just amend the deadline, and as long as we have somebody chosen before the end of June, again, even if we have to do a quick shuffle and use that 4.5 or whatever that's put aside for the brochure, that saves us. Any questions on the RFP?
Who has already seen this? Has it gone out to more than one potential supplier, vendor?
No, it hasn't been posted yet. I was going to post it.
Okay.
I wanted to post it after the branding committee meeting, but Renee wanted EDC to see it first. So it has not been posted yet. I need to amend the deadline for submissions and actually get it up on the website and send it out to some targeted vendors.
Okay.
So I have a question on this. So there's a, planning and development, like 10-year plan, right? That gets updated. I don't know if it's 10 years. I remember seeing some document, but this
You mean
particular,
the POCD, I think, Brian.
yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah.
But this is a living and breathing document that we're going to develop here that kind of just helps steer the branding group with various, I'm just going to call them missions, to, just better organize ourselves and kind of keep focused. And it's a living and breathing document, kind of gets updated. Is that like the overall intent of this?
Yeah. It is a functional marketing plan and branding package. So we've never quite developed, the logo. I mean, we have the slogan, but we don't have the logos. We don't have the graphics and aesthetics piece, because that's outside what any of us are really good at. And we've had the NECOG strategy and sort of the distillation of that we've done. But I don't think we've done an okay job of hitting some of those targets, but we've also evolved away from the way it was presented. So this would be a tighter, more nimble document, much, much more directed to just the marketing aspect.
Yeah. I think in general, it makes sense. It's something that's required in order to create proper branding over a period of time, right? I feel like it just makes sense. So in my opinion, not speaking for the group here, is there something you need us to vote on here, or, just to post it? Or are you just looking for general approval?
Well, I think that's up to Brian Yacino primarily, if you guys want to put it to vote or just, generally give consent. I mean, it is kind of coming out of branding, but branding is a subcommittee of this commission.
Sure.
I was thinking that, because we did
you
vote
guys
on
have
it.
to ratify what they do.
We did vote on it in branding, and it doesn't hurt to have a formal vote here either. Just to show everybody's on board.
Yeah, I would be in favor of that for sure.
Like
I'll
you
make
said,
a
Brian.
motion that we move this to the official RFP on the website.
And I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm gonna-
Here's our screen. Okay, let's,
I just stopped screen sharing. I mean, I can
Yeah.
pull it back up if you want. But.
no, that's fine. Unless somebody has something they need to say.
I wouldn't mind if she emails it out so I can look at it a little bit more carefully.
I
but,
can forward
I'm
that to you,
aware of
Charlie.
Good. I'm aware of the generals of it from the other 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's just 2 pages. I have it printed on, one double-sided sheet. But like Brian said, it lays out a plan. It's got short-term and long-term. It does have some definition to it. So, okay, well, I'll get it out to the group so you can reread it and Tara can get it posted.
Yeah, so I just need to figure out logistically how long we want it to be posted and how much time we want it to review. Do we want it to be able to review vendors by the next meeting of this commission with members of branding? Or maybe just invite Renee, since there's at least 2 members of branding here now, right? Charlie, Brian.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so all right. So I'll adjust the submission period so that we have all that stuff in hand.
Okay. Okay. Moving on to the progress reports. We have the zoning regs revision.
Yeah, the proposed draft was posted, I don't even remember now, beginning of April, I think. It was officially open for public comment through this past Friday. I received, a handful of, actually it's more than a handful now, a decent number of public comments. Technically the open comment period is closed, but really I'm taking comments from whomever until the point that we review it. The purpose of closing it was so that I could start to compile the discussion document for the commission. We're going to set the next discussion meeting for P&Z at the P&Z regular meeting on Tuesday of next week. I was hoping to only have one. I wouldn't be surprised if we need 2 or 3, because it is going to be a long discussion document, and these conversations always are slower than I'd like them to be. Although Joe Perotti and I are going to get together and discuss how we're going to manage that discussion to try to streamline it a little bit. The goal had been to have the commission able to vote on it to have a public hearing and then close the public hearing and be able to vote on it at their June regular meeting. That is somewhat in doubt. There's some concern, whether real or manufactured, about whether the public has enough opportunity to be heard because they can't meet in person. So Amy and Cindy and I are going to have a conference call with town council tomorrow to see what's realistic. But we are, regardless of minor setbacks, we are still in end game on the regs. So I'm sure there'll be some changes that come out of the comment period, but nothing, hopefully, nothing that really sabotages the purpose of what we've been after.
Has the email gone out for next Tuesday? Because I haven't seen many emails on P&Z. I know you guys have been meeting at 2 o'clock on some
No, we
random
just did
days.
one. We did one because it turned out to have been a foolish choice, but we did one afternoon meeting. It was very early in the shutdown when nobody was working. So we just scheduled what was supposed to be a quick special meeting to deal with one thing, get on and off the line, so that it could be like a test meeting while still getting something done. That turned out to be a poor choice, and we're not going to do any more 2 o'clock meetings with P&Z.
To do.
It had some logic to it at the time, but it really backfired on us.
I have no doubt. I'm not questioning that at all. I haven't seen any emails about, the Zoom for next Tuesday night. I can email.
I can
Joe
forward
as
it
well.
to you right now from my, since I have my Hotmail open. Give me a second here.
Thanks.
I have to send all my stuff over to my Hotmail so that I have the agendas.
Thanks. Yeah, and my question,
PZC meeting link. Here we go.
I did read through the zoning regs. My question's more discussion purposes, which we can do Tuesday. Tara. I don't want you to think I forgot about that. And I do have some points on it, but we can talk about it on Tuesday. It's no big deal.
Well, if they're quick, I don't mind, hearing what you have to say. I mean, it's
Sure.
fine with me.
Sure.
I just sent that to your WT Rich address.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what are your questions then, Bri?
Oh, I don't have it in front of me right now, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we can do it. I'll have to go through that right now.
Okay, no problem.
I got the link. Thanks.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Now, the next item, I'm keeping it on here until something happens, but it's the electronic sign for the town hall. And
Well,
no
something will
movement on
happen
it.
before the end of something will happen before the end of the fiscal year. I have to move the extra funds from the IOB and encumber them to the sign, but that's me sitting down with Orla. Because we knew we had about $8,000 extra in that. I need to make sure those get properly assigned. So again, they don't disappear into general fund land.
Okay, so we'll leave it on for next month. Next up is the train wreck site, including the budget cut, and Charlie had been talking about drone footage.
Yeah, there's two things that I wanted to quickly bring you up to date on. One is that the Connecticut Trails Day is taking a different approach to Trails Day activities for June. They've asked trail event leaders to go out to the site and make a 60-second video using our phones and upload it so that people can look at the area in question. 60 seconds is minimal, very. And to the point that Tira raised about fold-out brochure, it's difficult to get people excited about something if they can't see it. So while we can post something to show the train wreck site, and we have another member of the Trails Committee who is going to be providing something for the Tri-State Marker, we still have a much larger scope in the project area that I think would benefit us if we could provide the visuals to people that are not residents of the town and are not likely to come to the town between now and when we want to start moving this further along. One of those potential it's a funding source. Two of them are. One is the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and they have monies for actual solid, I'll say brick and mortar, it's just the term that pops into my mind, but for actual construction, actual hard goods related to projects that have a rural impact and that are in rural areas, a regional impact in rural areas. The other one is a bit more intangible, but I've raised the comment a couple of times. Webster Bank has already demonstrated that they are interested in trails and greenways. And I really think that if we can give a vision of how this ties in and lean on the aspect that spur route went to Webster, Massachusetts, which isn't the same Webster, but it sounds the same and it's spelled the same. And it might be something that could open the door for some of their monies to come in for design and construction purposes. Towards that goal, I've spoken with a drone operator from Quinnebog about doing some footage that would show the right-of-way in general and some of the key points along it. And then when I passed the suggestion along, was the first that I realized that we were having budget cuts but I do refer to our February meeting when the motion was made to have funds for related, let's see, how to say, it's, decided to spend the remaining funds for, well, anyway, it's in item 2 on page 2, and it talks about items that are related, projects that are related to the train wreck site. And I had asked for half of what we allocated for last year. And I understand that we may have to cut that back, but I also have not pursued to find out how much this man would charge for us. His one concern was a $500 permit from Department of the DEEP to allow him to use a drone in state areas, in state lands. And I think that we should be able to spring that much money, get some footage, and put it together into a visual that is part of this marketing plan for the train wreck park. Those are the only two things that I have about it. Oh, and we're putting a porta-john out there for the balance of the summer. Actually,
But that's the trails expense. That's not our expense, right?
That's the trails expense. But there is actually, I did send out a report from Connecticut Trail Census. In March, there was a dramatic drop in the number of people that were using the trail. But the number of people that, it was like a huge increase. It was like a couple thousand people. I have to find it. I will find it and I'll send it over to you. It's astonishing the number of how the usage on that trail is increasing, even though it still needs much more work. But even before this pandemic hit, we were seeing in the range of, when you want it, it's just not there. We were seeing a significant increase. Oh, here it is. 2,000, almost 3,000 people used it in the month of March, with a significant drop-off taking place after the 15th. And it just drops like a cliff. That is compared to 1,159 in February. So it was climbing. It was showing a steady and even dramatic. It's like 3 times more people in March than in February. And I want to remind the rest of the members of this commission, when we look at these regional rail trails, we're looking at an economic driver. We're looking at something that can and should bring visitors to the town, and then it's up to us to find out how to get them to our local restaurants and businesses when the businesses are open.
Yes, I was going to bring up some new business, but since you're talking about the airline trail here, so I frequent the airline trail. I've been going there like 3 times a week, taking the kids and biking and walking, various things. But I will say, I have seen a significant amount of people on the trail on a weekly, if not daily basis. So I was, like I said, I was going to bring it up under new business, but when I was standing at those bulletin boards, there's one, I park over by G7 there and then start walking the trail there. I feel like we should be posting stuff on those bulletin boards, if not there, also on the Thompson, the West Dam there. Even if it's just our new EDC webpage printed and laminated. This is just food for thought. I'm just suggesting that, just to show that, hey, check out our new webpage. You know, there's various things on there that you can click on, and probably not not the most appropriate time to go looking for new restaurants to go to, but at least we can get people traffic going to the website. And I have no problem printing those 8.5 by 11 color pages and laminating them in my office. And then when I go to those bulletin boards, posting them there. I don't know if that's completely okay. I don't know if like public information can be posted to those boards, but I guess I'm asking the group, does that sound like a good idea to print some stuff and put it on those bulletin boards? Because we are getting such traffic. I completely
Charlie and
agree with-
Brian might have a better idea of what is permitted, because those are the bulletin boards, the kiosks,
right?
must be owned by Connecticut Deep.
Yeah.
They are. On the one up at the train wreck site, we've already, I think at all of them, I thought at all of them, we had a laminated listing of restaurants in town. I know that that one was still up there a few weeks ago when I went up to check the counter. And I haven't been at the kiosks at the other locations. We are permitted to post things that are related to the town of Thompson. We have maps
good.
that are available, and Brian has been the one who's mostly been refilling those. Brian and John Kerchinkas. But those things are permittable. On the list up at the New Road area, at East Thompson Road and New Road, we have a QR code that will bring them to a more complete list of the Thompson businesses and restaurants. It's out of date, and even when it was put up, it wasn't complete. We missed one or two, but those are things that are very much in the spirit of what the Deep wants to do with the airline trail and what we want to do with the airline trail.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put something together. I'm no marketing guy here, but I'll email the group and see if you guys are okay with me laminating something and going to those built kiosks and posting stuff. But I'll email you guys before I do anything, if that's okay
Okay.
with the group.
Okay.
That sounds good, Brian.
And the other thing, Charlie, I guess this is kind of off the record here, actually, but I own 2 of those.
We're being
drones.
recorded, Brian.
Oh, okay. Nah, I guess never mind. I'm
Well,
gonna
if it's
wink
some-
at you and say I own 2 of those drones. So let me know if you need any help.
Well, it's just a matter of, there's town land that we can be over the top of with no problem. But
Yeah.
once we get off to the state land, they want a permit. And I think that if this gets this project moved along,
Yeah.
you will see an email coming through with the graph that I just talked about, the report. And it is
Yeah.
a report for the first quarter, but I just sent it off now.
Okay.
Okay. That's it for the train wreck park project. I don't know when we're going to meet again or if we're going to have a Zoom meeting. A few things have come up that were related topics that I shared with a number of the people that are active on our committee. I don't know for sure that I got it to everybody that's active on the committee, but I know that I got it to the most active members. So.
So we're actually not quite done with the train wreck park because there is going to be a virtual event for Connecticut Trails Day. That's an initiative out of our partnership with National Park Service. So that's that call for songwriters that some of you may have seen that got sent out because NPS had a small stipend to do arts activation. And what was settled on, largely because it was sort of the lowest number of moving parts, was to do a songwriting competition for a modern day folk song about the events of the Great East Thompson train wreck. And folks who want to compete are to send their videos to me to compile, put them up on the town YouTube page, and then share it officially on Connecticut Trails Day, with people, can tune in all at once. You can vote through the month. We'll lead the vote, and then the winner is going to get a recording package, studio and video recording. We've got the vendors chosen for that. That we can then, the artist gets to use it however they want. We're not removing any rights from the artist, but we are, in return for doing for funding the recording, we reserve the right to use it promotionally however we want. So we're going to have a custom song with video, probably including some of that drone footage that you're talking about. Jeff Bolte's going to do the video. That's going to be unique to us and something that's going to get shared on CT Visit, that's going to get shared by the Airline Trail. Connecticut Deep can use it. Anybody who is involved in promoting this attraction is going to have access to that from this. So, is it a huge deal? I don't know, but it is something that'll be unique and hopefully generate some interest. I have 2 submissions in hand. The submission period is open through next week. Even if we only have 2, it's something for people to vote on. I am still hoping to see more. I refreshed all those notices on all my online networks today. So it's kind of a cool thing. And it can happen safely and securely.
Socially.
Yay.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, now we have the wayfinding plan. And Tara, we have the paper on the workshop.
Yeah, so we've got a date, a tentative date, because that CME contract to work on the wayfinding final plan involved a public presentation. So we're going to do it as a virtual Zoom. Off the top of my head, it's like June 23rd, I think, was the date that we settled on.
Yeah, June
With a dry
23rd
run.
at 6 p.m.
Okay, yeah, with a dry run the week before for the presenters. So that's me, Kelsey, and John Guskowski, and one of our National Park Service partners, Elizabeth Stroud, is going to do some talking about trail towns and how that relates to sort of finding yourself in a location and using wayfinding to promote the asset. So we'll see how it goes with participation, but we'll do our bit to drum it up, and the results of the various surveys and the presentation that she's got for this involves some real-time survey questions while the presentation is going on. Those will be the things that she takes into her next step.
Am I correct in that you really would like to have more people viewing this, even if they're not?
We always want more. We always want more.
Okay, I've got a few places where I can post notice about it, and it might help.
Okay, well, when there is an official notice created, yes, absolutely do that. We haven't created like an online event for it yet, but we will be soon.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, the next one is the Nips for Holiday Cheer. Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know. Yeah, 28,395 little nippies.
Plus the 300 or so that I forgot to take over.
Well, do not forget this week, because there is a high probability that this is going to be the last month. We got a good bump in fundraising, thanks in part to Brian Santos and some other companies, both local and not local, and some grant funds from TLGV. But that 28,000 plus, that was almost all of what we had in the kitty. We had a total of $3,500 in both the money that this commission put aside and private donations, and some other stuff. So, it doesn't take much math to do almost 29,000 of that is accounted for in the first month of collections. We figured out we've got about 1660 in hand. I do have some more fundraising requests out. I made a $3,000 ask to Bank Hometown. I actually have a very favorable feeling about them giving us some money, but we won't know until probably the end of the month. So we're going to release a press release on Tuesday when we get back to the office, you know, with the details for the next pickup, which is the 6th of June, as before, at the Highway Garage, 10 to 1, with strong implication that this might be the last month unless we get new funders. So don't sit on them if you've got them. You know, if I get lucky and pull a couple of these funding sources in to pull us through, I'd really like to take it at least through the month of July, but realistically, some of the sources of funding I thought would be fairly easy were not. I had one private company with whom I have a good relationship with the owner, whom I did not know had personal moral objections to doing anything involving alcohol, right? So, that's always a risk with a program like this, even though it's not addressing the vice of drinking specifically, just the litter therefrom, but it's an understandable response. I have no problem with that. But after that initial rush where people were really excited to sign on and contribute some funds, given the current economic downturn, there's only so many kinds of businesses I can even hit, right? Places that are less likely to have suffered a real setback. So it's, you know, it's been a challenge. But we have at least one more month of collection. Fingers crossed that we can go into June and then maybe July. But regardless, we're going to have a ton of good data, both in the amount that came off from the period between last year's April cleanup when nobody was counting them to this year, you know, that 28,000, and then how many come off in a month, even with the roads having been cleaned the month before. That's a number I'm really interested in, because, you know, that's another good number to present by itself and say, look, this is how pervasive the problem is. Every single month, X number of thousands are hitting this one community. You know, extrapolate that statewide. Why isn't there a deposit on this, you know, in a version of the bottle bill, which is one of the things we're trying to support.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a simple idea, and simple ideas to understand are often the ones that take off well, and this one sure took off way beyond what we expected when we put that $1,000 aside.
Good. We shouldn't have said 10 cents. We should have said a penny a bottle. I think we overpriced ourselves.
Well,
I
a
had
penny
said
wouldn't have been any good.
5.
I think Tara's right. The language in the proposed revision to the bottle law is looking to get 10 cents a piece for them. So it serves as a real identifier for how willing people might be to pick these things up. I posted it on Facebook and got responses from all over the country. People were just amazed at the whole concept. And when I had the photographs of how much was turned in, the response was equally amazing. So I think that this is something with a little bit of thought, we could probably find a way to get it on, certainly on Connecticut news, NBC and Fox and whatever, and more of our own social media.
Yeah, we had some good press out of the Norwich Bulletin already.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Good. Kevin, what's his name from Channel 3? He was in Putnam yesterday at the openings of restaurants, and so perhaps we could get Kevin Hogan down here, somebody from Channel 3 to come to Thompson. That would be a great idea, Charlie.
Yeah, I don't
I'll
know,
see if
but I think that that's workable.
Well, they'll have a news department that takes press releases, so I'll loop that in.
Okay.
Okay, we all set with?
Yep.
Okay, next up is 6 months of suffrage.
That started tonight. They're making their sashes even as we speak. So the program is continuing. Nothing's been canceled, including the Memorial Day Parade, which was the one that we initially thought was not going to happen at all. But who's the guy over at the VSW there? Elmer really wanted it to go forward, so they've we're gonna do costumed ride-bys in antique vehicles, the suffragettes. But the very first event was this evening, or is happening now, a Zoom-based DIY make your own suffragists sash workshop with a presentation by a friend of mine from Historic New England, Marissa Dufault, who is a freelance costumer as well. The Secretary of State and Lieutenant Governor dialed in to give opening statements. We arranged for that yesterday because they are two of the three women who are leading the statewide initiative. And, you know, we're adjusting. Those EDC funds are going to be critical in, you know, supporting it. So that was, you know, money well spent. And it's just going to keep going. Right now, the event most in danger of being canceled is my band, because my bandmates are freaking out. But I'll burn that bridge when I get to it.
What are they freaking out over?
Getting together to perform.
Yeah, contagion. So you may or may not be aware of this, but singing is one of the most hazardous things that you can do in a contagion situation, because those aerosolized droplets that spread 6 feet when you're just talking can spread up to 20 or 30 feet when projected by a singer.
Wow.
Yes, this is true. So they're not actually freaked out about the audience, because the Riverside Park is set up, that gazebo is set up in such a way that you can easily keep the distances.
Yeah.
It's the five of us together. You know, there's one woman who was in the all-female lineup in the band who's a single mother. She just said it's a risk she can't take. My pianist just moved her 93-year-old mother-in-law into the house because she was otherwise isolated. So, you know, it's a risk thing. So I just need to find some sidemen who are willing to take the job, assuming that they don't cancel. It still might get canceled outright. You know, but it is what it is. We will take it as it comes.
Yep.
Well, you could always sing with your back to the audience, or the back to everybody.
You mean and spit directly on my bandmates? I don't think that's what they're after either.
No, bandmates, yes. With your back.
Go stand at the French River. Okay.
But it is 9 total events over 6 months between May and October. Some of the things that might not be able to go live can go virtual if we still have to make those adjustments. And, you know, I mean, we're joking about my band. It's possible that could get postponed to a later date. The next one that's up is a lecture and discussion of the history of Prudence Crandall. Do I have the name right? Yeah, and that's going to be Sunday, the 14th of June, also presented via Zoom. That's Don Williams, former state senator Don Williams, homegrown boy, who's going to be doing that. So look for those events to get posted more aggressively, you know, on all the social media stuff, so that you can. I think we're asking for pre-registration on those to avoid Zoom bombing. But there's no charge or anything. It's just, you know, you have to sign up so we know who gets the link. And that's that.
Okay. Then we have the pop-up village, which we already had some discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I think the budget is obviously significant. We have the presentation from the kids.
Yeah.
I guess what we have to decide is what we're going to do with it. It was certainly intended that be a public workshop, but that was not feasible. The kids just didn't have the resources to do that kind of Zoom presentation thing the way some of our other partners have. But we have both documents, the text document and the slideshow. The slideshow actually both of them include the CAD drawings that they did. So we can get those to Dave Eddy regardless. So you guys just have to decide what you want to do with it, and we'll do it. I mean, it's still a project we're working on. It's still something that's going to happen. It's just the immediacy is pushed off. That was a prompt for you guys to discuss what you wanted to do with it, by the way.
Well, I personally think that our next logical step, especially in light of the budget restrictions, would be to keep an eye on the virus spread and maybe try to bring this out in a rough draft form during the fall. If it's done with tents and one pop-up village, one pop-up shed as our starting point, that gives us the opportunity to present the concept to the community, not only the residents of the town, but people who are specifically who could envision their business taking part in something like this.
One good time could integrate it into Community Day.
Like we did
Not a
last
bad
year, you
idea.
mean?
Yeah, we just wouldn't have the animals in it maybe this time. We would put it
Or we might.
more where we plan to have them.
Yeah, and if Dave can build another one for us over the summer with the funds that we will have for it, assuming we don't have any more taken away from us, we could have two there.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a meeting to discuss Community Day on the 10th of June. That planning group. Obviously, that event, like all events that involve more than 5 people, it has a lot of unknowns surrounding it, whether it can occur at all, yada, yada, yada. But if it can happen, one of the things we've discussed, I don't think it's going too far off the reservation to mention it, is to incorporate some of the events that got canceled. For example, it seems unlikely that the town-wide tag sale is going to happen, but you could invite the people who would have taken part in the town-wide tag sale, not to have tag sales at their home, but to have that, those tables on the field, to expand Community Day to be one catch-all event. That's just something we're discussing. And nobody can make any decisions until we have more certainty. But, that would be a way to handle it for sure. Have it anchor like a little retail village, essentially.
Yeah, like a little fair.
Yeah.
If there's a Woodstock fair, we could have a Thompson fair.
Yeah. In
often
fact,
wonder-
the
I wonder why we
the
do
Woodstock Fair was officially canceled, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't they
yeah.
already
Yeah.
make the call? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
a month
They did.
ago.
Well, they have
Yep.
so many people coming from so far away, and they have major entertainment acts, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can't be iffy
Planning.
like our Community Day is more localized.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. The stakes are definitely so different. I mean, Newport Jazz, Newport Folk, those are canceled. All that big stuff is canceled because of the logistics. I mean, can you imagine opening Newport with 6-foot distancing? You'd never be able to make the money back to cover your expenses. So
Right.
we don't have that problem. So we have more flexibility as to, holding out that we can hold the event until things are more definite in one direction or another.
It would be great. I
So we
think it would
can
be a
keep
great
that in-
draw to have the
Yeah.
the yard sale there, though.
Yeah, like call it a little
So let's
flea
keep that in the back of our mind as a piece that EDC maybe could spearhead for Community Day if it goes on. The organization of, the 2 showpiece sheds, right? The one that's currently over at the garden, we could move back, and a new one, plus whatever craft show, tag sale, whatever is around there that would support it, that would make it look like something. So let's
Yeah.
make a note to add that for agenda discussions maybe for next month.
Good idea. No, we're almost done. What's next?
Yeah, I'm making notes.
Oh,
Well, we kind of already covered the next one because it was, because that was the songwriter thing. That was the piece I was going to talk about. I forgot it was later on the agenda too. Yeah, that technical assistance partnership with NPS is ongoing. I have regular conversations with the consultants. And then we've been trying to have supplemental meetings with the planning group, which is members of Trails and branding and the Historical Society. Those have been a little more challenging, but I'm in communication with them constantly. So it won't stagnate, whatever happens.
Okay. All right, we did a good job getting through the agenda, and we're up to comments by commission members. Charlie smile. Just swallowed the canary, Charlie.
Quick note here. I had reached out to a neighbor who is an artist who does illustrations for biology books and self-employed. And I had actually reached out to her about a vacancy on inland wetlands using the messaging app off of Zoom or off of Facebook. Just now, I see that she replied and expressed some interest. So I said, oh, and by the way, we're looking for an alternate on EDC. So maybe we will find her schedule's flexible, and she's relatively new in town, but an interesting person. I think that she'd be an asset in either of those capacities.
Yeah, we can always get her to tune in next time, see if she has any interest.
Yeah, well, in fact, I suggested, I sent her a note and said, why don't you tune in, but I don't think she'll get it in time.
No.
okay, thanks, Brad.
Yeah. Anybody else? Comments? Members?
Nope.
I'm just looking forward to face because
Yeah, me too. I'm getting tired of this. But I'll take it as long as I need to. I'm not going to rush out and,
Well, let me just say this, and it's less relevant to this commission than it is to some others. So one of the constant complaints, or I don't know, complaint is maybe not the right word. One of the things that constantly comes up is that public meetings are poorly attended. Zoom has allowed these meetings to be much better attended, particularly in the policy-making boards. You know, Board of Finance had 100 and some people tuned in, I think 130 last Thursday.
Yeah.
So although it's been a difficult adjustment, these are actually increasing the reach of democracy more than in-person public meetings ever did. So it's just something to keep in the back of your mind.
no, you're right. Everything, even our church attendance is up because
See?
you don't have to put clothes on Sunday morning.
Brian, your
Thank you,
turn,
Brad.
though.
It's not, we're doing Facebook Live. I'm going because I'm playing music. But there's only 6 of us that go.
Oh,
We
I was gonna
Facebook
say,
Live it.
our church is still closed.
Yeah, we do the same thing at our church. It's just Facebook Live. Same thing.
Which, yeah, it's not, I'd still rather be, have everybody in person, but
Well, it's the responsible choice right now.
yeah.
it is. It is.
Okay,
All right,
Okay, any
guys,
more
good
comments?
meeting.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Move to adjourn.
Well, the next meeting is June 17th. And I still have location to be determined, but I I assume since they set the 20th for phase 2. That,
Oh, count on it being online, Brian, and I would say even once there's some relaxation of protocols, I think we're going to be online for a while.
I just see we're such a small group, we
Yeah, I
we
think
would have options.
we can still sit in the conference room 6 feet apart. I don't see why that has a difference.
And we could, the conference room is big enough.
Right, if you can have a group of 10 people, we're not even 10 people. We should be able to meet in July.
Yeah, we'll see how June goes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
so-
see how June goes. I count on being online only for June. I think that's a fair assumption.
Yeah, it makes
Sounds great.
sense. But
Okay.
it'll be in the agenda anyway, when it
All
comes
right.
time after
Oh, yeah,
Ashley
so Brian,
reminds me.
add a note to yourself for the agenda now, since we just decided, potentially review RFP responses.
Yes.
I would like to clarify one point. I lobbied on behalf of funding permit for the video documentary of our airline trail section. And as far as I understood it, back in February, the concept was approved, but I didn't really ask for a vote on, can I contact him and say, let's move forward with this?
Well, did you get a quote, Charlie?
No, I'll reach back out to him. He was included in the email loop when you made a comment about the budget being pared back, and I haven't reached back out to him. But I do want to. I want to move this forward and not have it carried over until next fiscal year, like the fold-out map.
Yeah, so what we need to do for that, Charlie, is we need to figure out what of the 2,500 that was set aside for the train, whether it was train wreck only or I can't remember how it was set aside, how much of it's gone, how much of it still needs to be paid, and
Okay.
then we'll know if it makes any sense, not just to pay for the drone, but the permit. I think everybody was concerned about that permit.
Yeah,
That's a big chunk of change when you've only got $2,500 in your kitty and some of it's already gone.
yeah, I can't think of anything that we've actually spent it on since February. We didn't buy more
Yeah,
shirts.
we paid Paul Provost back for something.
Okay,
We paid J&D for something, but there might be another J&D invoice. There might be another J&D invoice out there. I'm not sure.
yeah, what we paid J&D was off of the last of the last amount that was allocated, which is why
All
I
right,
had
well,
asked for some more to come forward. So,
All right, well,
I can check with Orla,
Okay,
or you can,
all right.
and I'll reach out to.
I will do
Elliot,
that. I will do that.
And I'll reach
Because,
out to.
you know, it
Elliot.
doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to commit funds when you don't know how many funds are there to commit.
True. All right,
Okay.
All right. Well, if we're all set, we can adjourn at 7:53.
Okey-doke.
move to adjourn.
Yeah, we
Good
don't do
night.
that.
Bye, guys.
We don't
See you
do
next
that
time.
move stuff.
No?
Yeah.
Hey, Anarchy is our middle name.
Have a lovely evening, friends. I'm going to go see what my husband made me for dinner.
Well,
luck.
good luck with that. Thanks, guys.
Good night,
Cabinet
guys.
door.